Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with another Total War Warhammer video. Today we'll be continuing our faction focus series for the most recent content drop, where today we're going to cover Drycha, the FLC legendary lord for the Wood Elves. Drycha is a rather interesting character. She's a tree spirit, but she does not work alongside the Wood Elves of Athaloran. Instead, she absolutely despises them, blaming them for the corruption that seeps into the forest. She believes that the only way Athaloran can be kept safe is by removing the elves by force. For she is the Lorax and she speaks for the trees. Wait, no, she's the Briar Maven of Woe and she speaks for the trees. Or so she claims. But let's not waste any more time and jump right in so you guys can see what to expect from a Drycha campaign. Your campaign will begin in the southeastern parts of the Empire, in a province known as the Griffin Wood. Remember that Drycha herself is only available for the Mortal Empires campaign. You'll begin at war with the Skaven of Mordheim and the Imperial province of Ostermark, also surrounded by more potential enemies, as the other Imperial provinces may unite against you. Though it's been years since your expulsion from Athaloran, it is now the time to bolster up your forces and lead an assault to take the Oak of Ages as your own. Drycha's faction effects are as follows: minus 40 diplomatic relations with the Wood Elves, upkeep reduced by minus 10% for all Dryads, Treekin and Treemen units for all armies. Upkeep increased by 10% for all elf units in all armies. And finally, all elf units are glamoured, reducing their combat power and making them expendable. Your elf units may be weaker, yes, but don't worry, you don't really need them for this campaign. Instead, use the raw power of nature against your foes. Your construction tab will be almost identical to the other Wood Elf factions. You are missing a few buildings, but bear in mind that those are Wood Elf cavalry, and you have no need for Wood Elves in your army. What you'll also notice is that your tree spirits look a tad different. This is because you'll be fighting alongside more malevolent beings. They'll work exactly the same way as the normal tree spirits. The only difference is that they'll have a more sinister look. To supplement the loss of the Wood Elves, Drycha will have access to a new mechanic known as Wild Spirits, where she and her armies can recruit the local wildlife to aid her cause. Giant wolves, manticores, giant spiders and the like. These are instantly recruitable units, and the pool itself varies per different region that you may visit. Drycha's unique trait is Briar Maven of Woe, which goes as follows: Public Order minus 5 for local enemy provinces, Weapon Strength plus 10% for Dryad units in her own army, Melee Attack plus 5 for Dryad units in her own army, and finally, an ability known as Rouse to Wrath. This will allow her to summon in extra Dryad units into the battlefield, and can also be upgraded through her special skills. The majority of her skills are self-explanatory. She is a melee caster hybrid with access to the Lore of Shadows. She will have access to the usual skills which will benefit herself and her units, with of course the new blue skill line, which brings Wood Elf characters on par with those of Warhammer 2's base game races. It's when we look at her special skills when things get a tad different. You'll get the expected buffs for both your legendary lord and some hero classes, but you'll also get access to a bunch of different hexes, which you can use against your enemy to your heart's content. You'll also notice something rather interesting, where unlocking your unique item also unlocks a new questline to free the imprisoned legendary hero Coadil. You can recruit Drycha's very own mentor as a legendary hero. Amber will also come into play as expected, but you'll start off with one Amber already, and those Amber specific technologies are quite beneficial for you as a faction. Take your time before picking one, as it may be a while until you can do so again. But with all that being said, I'm going to jump ahead a few turns and I'll come back at points of interest. but right now I want to deal with these Skaven. These poor rats were not expecting the fury of the forest, where they broke relatively easily as I smashed right through them. Drycha, like Durfu, will have access to the upgrade mechanic for the tree spirits. These upgrades are quite cheap and will prove to be very beneficial later game as you start to turn your baseline units into pure juggernauts. Drycha, like Durfu, will have access to the upgrade mechanic for the tree spirits. These upgrades are quite cheap and will prove to be very beneficial later game as you start to turn your baseline units into pure juggernauts. Your chain quest to rescue Codil will begin at rank 5, where you'll be tasked to raid Middenheim. Don't feel like you need to dive right in, solidify yourself first in your regions. A tip for newer players: if you're worried about the other imperial provinces declaring war on you, you can build up diplomatic relations with them by simply attacking the vampire counts. They are very close to you and early on they are quite weak. If you do so, make sure to settle the regions as you move in to avoid attrition damage, and then you can abandon them if you so wish after you've dealt with the vampires. At a certain point, you'll be able to start fielding more armies. As soon as you can, take advantage of the office mechanic. There are 4 different options, each of them with different styles, so just take a look at them and see which one is best for you. Eventually, you'll want to progress in rescuing Codil. After raiding Middenheim, you'll be tasked in fighting and defeating an Imperial army. They shouldn't really cause you too much trouble. After doing so, you will be tasked to head to the Bretonnian province of Baravon. Straight after that, you'll have a quest battle that you can teleport to. You'll be fighting a lot of elves here, but that's all I'm gonna tell you. I don't want to ruin the battle mechanics or even the in-game cinematics for you. With that, Mentor and Mentee are finally united once again, and now they may turn their attentions to Athaloran, where they can finally expel the elves and allow the forest to heal as they see fit. I believe I have covered everything of interest for this new faction. We've already had a look at their units in a previous video, which will be linked in the description below should you want to check them out. Drycha and her elf-hating forest spirits are the new FLC Legendary Lord Pack for Total War Warhammer 2. To unlock this content, you do not need the Twisted and the Twilight DLC, only Warhammer 1, Warhammer 2 and the Realms of the Wood Elves DLC. This is an interesting take on a tree spirit army, and I believe both new and returning players will enjoy it, so do check it out when you can. This FLC pack will release for free on December 3rd alongside the Twisted and the Twilight DLC and the much anticipated Wood Elf rework. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince and Okro for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel has been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.